about sponsors, Barton, I noticed you're wearing a Hurley jumper, and Blast Off has partnered with Hurley for a long time. So when did that start?
Both of those things happened at the same time, oddly enough. Simon Haskell was the general manager of Hurley at the time, came up to me in the car park at South Avalon, and at the time, towards the back end of my career, I wasn't sponsored. And was doing the tour off prize money. And it was some tough times at the back end of my career, as a lot of people do have, back then especially, when there wasn't so much money involved. And he said, look, we love what you do, and we love what you're all about, and we'd love to support you. And I was like, well, that'd be great. And I had the idea for Blast Off not long before that approach from Simon. I said, hey, I've got this idea for a kids event. Perhaps we could do it together.
Awesome.
And that was the start of our relationship. And I suppose this is the 13th year now that we've been doing Blast Off and working together, and been involved, from a team manager point of view, and from coaching athletes and mentoring their athletes, and commentary and all sorts of things. So it's been a really good relationship, and I can't believe I'm 55 years old and I'm still sponsored. It's quite odd. And I never thought that would be the case. So it was something that happened later on in life and later on in my career, and it's been a godsend, really. It's opened a lot of doors, and they're great people, and I've got great gear to use and wear, and it's been a real great thing. I'll be stoked on it.
Where did the idea of running an annual GROM competition, the Beals Blast Off, start from?
My father, the Palm Beach to Whale Beach big swim, that annual swim, my dad started that.
Oh, really?
That was my dad's idea. In 1973, he had the idea to swim from Palm Beach to Whale Beach, and convinced some friends to do it. And they swam it that first year, and then he died the year after they started the swim. And so it became the Bob Lynch Memorial. And so all these years later, it's still the longest running, the most attended open ocean swim race in Australia. It was the very first one in the country. And I was like, what an amazing thing my dad created, what an amazing legacy he was able to leave behind his life that still exists today. 3,000 people swim it. It's Whale Beach Surf Club's sort of primary fundraiser, keeps the club alive, and I was so inspired by that, and I was like, wouldn't it be great if I could create something that that was similar, last beyond my life hopefully, and continued my family's relationships with these beaches. And so my dad was the inspiration for Blast Off, and what his legacy was with the big swim, and hopefully Blast Off can be around for years to come too, and there'll be these two events that the Lynches have created here on these beaches, and be a legacy that we can both leave behind.
I definitely believe Blast Off will run for ages, because I've actually competed in Blast Off and done it for 4 or 5 years, and if it's still around when my kids are alive, they'll be doing it for sure.
How good would that be? That'd be epic. Love it.
Blast Off had a new system where after the heats there was post-heat analysis with the Hurley Surf Club. Where did that come from? How did that start?
That was really, I've been, as you know, I've been coaching a long time, and we've worked together as well a few years ago. But so I've always been coaching, and Hurley sort of came around to the idea that although the brand's about having fun, and that's the premise of it, the better you get at it, the more fun you have.
The motivation for Hurley as a brand has always been that surfing is a fun sport. But at the same time, we recognise that the better you get at it, the more fun you have. So the opportunity to work with the kids, help them with their surfing, is something that I just love.
Seeing their eyes light up, it's just great to be a part of it.
I just think the Hurley Surf Club is such a special opportunity for these kids.
They started doing all of this Hurley Surf Club activities where they were videoing people, coaching people, which was great for me and them, because that's what I do. And so we got involved, and then when I'd always wanted to do video analysis. We don't score rides at Blast Off, and it's all about that coaching. The opportunity to explain the coaching anyway, just on its own, was something I always had in mind, is that when we get the event big enough and we can explain and have a debrief on the notes. That'll be great. And then the Hurley Surf Club evolved, and there was the opportunity to video both the banks and take it up and watch it and take the kids through that coaching information with proper professional coaches. That was my dream, you know, and the fact that it all came together with Hurley and what they're doing was unreal, and we're going to do that again this year.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things, one of those elements that separate us. And then we're going to have all of the usual stuff. We're looking at the Grom Summit and what we could do with that again. The barbecue, the skate and ollie comps, blast off idle again, which I know you've been in, right?
I'll be looking forward to that again for sure.
Yeah, I love that part of it. So I think that it's all those little parts outside of the surfing itself and deciding a winner, which heaps of events do. Yeah. It's the fact that we have all of that other stuff, and it's about a lot more than that, and you can participate in all these other activities that separate it. So we kind of keep thinking of ideas, and this year we've got some ideas in and around surfboards and surfboard design and focusing on that area for the kids, and having some new ideas in and around that we're pretty excited about.
Well, it'll be great to look forward to for all the Groms.
Yeah, sure will. You're one of them.
In September holidays for a while.
Yeah.
And the entries are in
June, second week of June should open. Yeah, the second week of June, and the dates this year are October 2nd to 5th.
Oh, really?
It's still that first week of the school holidays, Tuesday to Friday, but the school holidays have moved a little bit further back this year. Yeah. And so Tuesday October 2nd to Friday October 5th. Yeah. Are the dates for the event, and the entries will open in the second week of June. Yeah. So are you going to have the same amount of people per age group, or are you going to try and get it bigger, or? We can't really go bigger in the 4 days that we run. We could run more days. Yeah. But I feel like it's a marathon for most of us anyway. Yeah. In the 4 days, we're at capacity with around 350 kids. Yeah, that's a lot of kids. It's a lot of kids, isn't it? And that's the thing that I'm most proud of. I think people in this world, in the grown-up world, they talk about targeted marketing and having a demographic and someone you want to sell your product to and targeting them. And they wouldn't believe that you could have something or an event that is an event for first-timers and people that are going in their very first contest or surfing event, which Blast Off is, for a lot of kids, as you know. But then we also attract the very best kids. Yeah. And there's the very best kids who want to win that thing and win that title, and then there's the first-timers and everything in between, and they're all in there together. Yeah, because for those very best kids, I believe Tyler Ryder, world surfing champion, competed in the Blast Off in its early stages. Yeah, good point. She won the very first one, 2006. Oh, really? She won the girls' 14s. Yeah. And then went on to win the world title. Mikey Wright has won the division as well, so in the boys. So that's something that you get really proud of. In fact, to see them evolve from your event to a world title is quite a great thing to have seen. And then again, like you said, surfing's evolved, and I've seen so many changes over the years. Yeah. That it's just a completely different sport now than what it was. And the kids are so good, the performances are so good, and it's just gone to the whole thing has just gone to another level, like the wave pool we just got to watch. Yeah, that was just a whole new thing for surfing, having a perfect wave pool. Yeah. And it just completely changes the elements. Hey? Totally, and the way you would compete and the everything changed so much. Another one of the biggest changes was jet skis. Jet skis, toe-ins. And when they came along, there were so many waves that you would look at and you didn't think was surfable. Yeah. And then you would get a jet ski, the jet skis came in and you could tow into them, and all of a sudden it just opened up all of these waves. Windows, totally. Yeah. And all the slab surfing, and then all of a sudden people started paddling into those same waves, and the whole sport just went to a whole nother level because of those jet skis. Barton, thanks for coming on the first episode of TMF today. It was a pleasure interviewing you, and I hope there'll be more good times to come. Yeah, I'm sure there will, and congratulations, mate, because like I tell that story of me as a young kid, I was inspired to do things. I was inspired to make something of my life, and I respect the fact that you're creating content and wanting to do things and share some good stories with people. So well done, mate. Thanks, congratulations. Again. Thank you.